Welcome to our channel. Today, we're plunging into the mysterious world of Gnosticism to uncover the Aeons, the forgotten gods who shape the cosmos and hold secrets of divine wisdom. Who are these powerful beings like Sophia and Barbello? How did their cosmic drama give birth to the flawed world we live in? Join us as we unravel the myths, secrets, and hidden knowledge behind these celestial entities and their battle against darkness and ignorance. If you're fascinated by ancient mysteries, spirituality, and forbidden lore, stay tuned, because the Aeons are about to reveal their forgotten story. The nature and purpose of Aeons in Gnostic mythology. At the heart of Gnostic cosmology lies a radiant tapestry of divine emanations known as the Aeons, mystical beings who both reveal and veil the ineffable mystery of the ultimate God. To understand the Aeons is to peer into one of the most fascinating spiritual cosmologies ever conceived, where the structure of reality is seen not as a simple hierarchy of angels or gods, but as an emanative spectrum flowing from an unknowable divine source. Let's explore in depth how Aeons emerge, why they exist, and what spiritual roles they play. The monad, the ultimate source. Gnosticism begins with a radical premise. There exists a monad, the ultimate, transcendent, and utterly unknowable God. The monad is often described as pure unity, beyond all attributes and distinctions, ineffable and silent, beyond thought, language, or form, fullness, pleroma, containing all existence within itself as potential. Unlike the personal God of Orthodox Christianity, the monad of Gnostic thought transcends personality, gender, and even being itself. It is the silent abyss of ultimate reality, called by names like Bythos, depth, Prork, the first beginning, or simply the one. Yet this monad, overflowing with fullness, emanates expressions of itself, not through will or creation in the traditional sense, but through a natural, unfolding process, like light radiating from a flame. These emanations are the Aeons. The emanation of Aeons, distance and degradation. Each Aeon is an emanation from the monad, a projection of divine attributes such as mind, truth, life, or wisdom. However, the further an Aeon is from the monad, the less perfect it becomes. This idea is key in Gnostic thinking. Each Aeon emerges progressively more distant and less perfect from the monad. The further from the source, the more prone to error. This emanative structure mirrors Neoplatonic thought, where lower levels of reality are increasingly imperfect reflections of the One. But Gnosticism takes this further by personifying these stages as conscious beings, Aeons, with stories and relationships. For example, in Valentinian Gnosticism, one of the richest Gnostic systems, the monad emanates. First Aeons, primal pairs like Bythos and Sige, depth and silence, expressing pure stillness and mystery. Middle Aeons, intellectual beings like Nous, mind, and Aletheia, truth. Lower Aeons, beings like Sophia, wisdom, whose actions can stray from divine harmony. Each level introduces more complexity, potential for separation, and ultimately, the possibility of error. In Gnostic cosmology, perfection belongs only to the monad. Everything else is increasingly prone to disharmony the further it is removed from that primal unity. Aeons as collective divine qualities. Another essential feature of Aeons is that they are not merely beings, but also personifications of divine qualities. Nous, mind, represents the divine intellect. Aletheia, truth, embodies pure truth. Logos, word, expresses divine reason. Zoe, life, symbolizes vitality and divine life force. Sophia, wisdom, reflects divine wisdom, though prone to independent action. These beings are realities and qualities simultaneously. The Aeons collectively make up the pleroma, the realm of fullness and divine perfection. The pleroma can be imagined as an ocean of light, shimmering with countless colors, each color an aeon radiating some aspect of divine essence. This concept beautifully preserves unity and diversity. The divine remains one in the monad, but also manifests multiplicity in the eons. Each aeon is unique, yet all share the same divine essence. Eons as intermediaries between God and creation. A crucial purpose of the eons is to act as intermediaries between the utterly transcendent God and the realm of creation, including the material world. They collectively express divine qualities and serve as intermediaries between the supreme God and the material world. Because the monad is utterly beyond comprehension, direct contact is impossible. Instead, the eons bridge the gap, making divine qualities accessible to beings lower in the cosmic order. The eons translate pure divine energy into intelligible forms, structure cosmic reality into intelligible orders, serve as the archetypal patterns for all creation. Thus, the eons act much like the Platonic forms, but personified and alive. They are both the blueprint and the cosmic workers who shape the spiritual and material universes. In some Gnostic texts, like the Tripartite Tractate, the eons are described as cosmic rulers who produce the totalities and give birth to the world. They do not create in the ex nihilo sense, but emanate realities from their own divine substance. Eons as symbolic realities. Beyond being cosmic beings, the eons are symbolic of spiritual experiences. Symbolically, they may be seen as light beings of pure spirit, realms of experience, or spiritual stages for souls to ascend through vianosis. This is a profound insight into the psychological and mystical dimension of Gnosticism. Each aeon can represent an inner quality to be realized, e.g., Sophia as inner wisdom, a stage of spiritual ascent, e.g., Nous as enlightenment, a cosmic realm of consciousness through which the soul journeys. For Gnostics, salvation was not merely faith or obedience, it was gnosis, experiential knowledge of the divine within oneself. This journey often follows the cosmic map set by the eons. As the soul ascends, it passes through the spheres ruled by eons, reclaiming forgotten aspects of divine identity. In the Pistis Sophia, a central Gnostic text, the soul's journey through cosmic realms parallels the eons' own dramas. The soul must overcome ignorance, the archons, and the barriers of material illusion to rejoin the pleroma. Syzygies, divine pairings. An important structural feature of eons is that they often exist in syzygies, male-female pairs. These pairs express the balance of opposites in divine reality. Mind nous and truth aletheia. Word logos and life zoe. Humanity, anthropos, and church, ecclesia. These pairs ensure cosmic harmony, preventing unilateral, unbalanced actions. However, one of the central tragedies in Gnosticism is that one aeon, Sophia, acts alone, breaking the syzygy principle and plunging the cosmos into crisis. Her fall gives rise to Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, who creates the flawed material world. This story of Sophia shows how even divine beings are vulnerable to error when they depart from cosmic balance. Eons and the material world. For Gnostics, the material world was often viewed as a lower, flawed realm created not directly by the monad, but by a misguided emanation, Yaldabaoth, the demiurge. The eons, however, remain in the pleroma pure and untouched. Yet they influence the material realm by sending messengers, like the Christ Aeon, to guide humanity, serve as archetypes for higher truths hidden beneath the surface of material existence, act as spiritual guardians whose knowledge can liberate the soul from material bondage. Thus, even though trapped in the material world, humans carry within them a divine spark from the higher Aeonic realms. Recognizing this spark through Gnosis enables salvation and the return to the Pleroma. Aeons as cosmic storytellers. One of the most fascinating aspects of Gnostic texts is how they tell stories through the Aeons. Aeons are not just abstract concepts, they are characters in cosmic dramas. Sophia's fall and redemption illustrates the tragedy and hope of the cosmic order. Bar Bello, a powerful feminine Aeon, often represents the first emanation and maternal aspect of the divine. Christ as an Aeon comes into the material world as a revealer, teaching hidden truths to free humanity. These myths serve multiple purposes. Cosmological, explaining how the universe came to be. Soteriological, explaining how humans can be saved. Psychological, symbolizing inner struggles and insights. The narrative dimension makes Gnostic cosmology deeply engaging, transforming philosophy into a vibrant, living mythology. Aeons and human spiritual evolution. Ultimately, the Aeons are more than cosmic figures. They are maps for the soul's journey. Gnostics believed humanity is a microcosm of the divine Pleroma. The human soul fell from the Pleroma, trapped in material illusion. Knowledge of the Aeons helps the soul recognize its divine origins. Salvation involves ascending through the cosmic spheres, shedding ignorance, and reintegrating with the Pleroma. The Aeons assist in this process by providing knowledge about the true nature of reality, offering protection against lower cosmic forces like archons, serving as models for divine qualities to embody. This vision emphasizes an inner mystical transformation, where knowing the Aeons is equivalent to knowing one's divine self. Aeons, the forgotten gods. Why call them the forgotten gods? Early Christianity labeled Gnostic teachings heretical, driving them underground. The complex, esoteric language of Gnosticism fell out of mainstream religious discourse. Most knowledge of the Aeons survives only in fragments or polemical writings by early church fathers. Yet the Aeons remain one of the most beautifully intricate cosmologies ever imagined. They reveal a vision of reality where divinity unfolds as a spectrum of consciousness, where each stage of being echoes with sacred meaning. The Aeons stand as shimmering pillars in the vast architecture of Gnostic thought. They embody divine attributes, mediate between the unknowable monad and the created world, and offer the soul a roadmap back to divine unity. Whether seen as cosmic beings, spiritual archetypes, or mythic storytellers, the Aeons remain vital to understanding Gnostic spirituality. In them, we glimpse a universe where the divine is both infinitely transcendent and intimately present within us. A cosmos where light shines even in the depths of matter, waiting to be recognized and reclaimed. Thus, in studying the Aeons, we do not merely learn about ancient myths. We encounter a profound spiritual vision of reality itself, a vision that still whispers to those who seek hidden truths beyond the surface of the world. Order and groupings of the Aeons in Gnostic mythology. In the complex and often mystical cosmology of Gnostic mythology, Aeons are not randomly scattered spiritual forces. Rather, they are precisely arranged in structured groupings, forming an elaborate spiritual hierarchy. These groupings reflect deeper metaphysical principles, such as balance, duality, emanation, and harmony, and help us understand how the Gnostics conceived of divine reality and its relationship to the material world. At the heart of this cosmic order lies the principle of syzygies, divine pairings, as well as tiered systems like the Ogdoad, the Valentinian Pleroma of 30 Aeons, and additional esoteric models like the Tetrad, Luminaries, and Autogenes. This layered and symbolic arrangement of the Aeons reveals both the precision and the spiritual purpose behind Gnostic theology. A divine architecture mirroring the very structure of existence. 1. The syzygies, divine pairings. At the foundation of Aeonic order is the concept of the syzygy, from the Greek sigma zeta upsilon gamma omicron, meaning yoke together or pair. In Gnostic tradition, Aeons are often paired into male-female counterparts, representing complementary, divine qualities. These pairs uphold cosmic balance and reflect the Gnostic understanding that unity comes from harmony between opposites. For example, Bythos, depth masculine, is paired with Sige, silence, feminine. Nous, mind, is paired with Aletheia, truth. Logos, word, is paired with Zoe, life. Anthropos, humanity, is paired with Ecclesia, church, or assembly. These syzygies are not just names. They symbolize forces of thought, spirit, wisdom, and community. In many Gnostic systems, creation unfolds through the interaction of these paired opposites, much like how the Taoist yin and yang form the totality of being. Crucially, when this balanced order is disrupted, as with the solitary action of Sophia, chaos ensues. The narrative importance of syzygies reflects the Gnostic emphasis on cosmic harmony and the dangers of unbalanced will or knowledge. 2. The Ogdoad, the chief 8 Aeons. One of the simplest and most foundational groupings in Gnostic cosmology is the Ogdoad, a set of 8 Aeons arranged in 4 syzygies. These represent the core of divine reality, closest to the monad. The Ogdoad often includes Bythos, depth, and Sige, silence. Nous, mind, and Aletheia, truth. Logos, word, and Zoe, life. Anthropos, humanity, and Ecclesia, assembly or church. Let's examine each briefly. Bythos and Sige represent the unknowable origin of everything. Bythos is the silent, infinite depth from which all things emanate. Sige is the silence or stillness that precedes and envelopes all sound and knowledge. Together, they form the first cause beyond comprehension. Nous and Aletheia follow as the first knowable emanations. Nous, mind, reflects the divine intellect, while Aletheia, truth, is the pure reflection of that knowledge. They symbolize the foundation of divine understanding. Logos and Zoe represent the speaking of divine reason and the life that flows from it. Logos, word, is the organizing principle of the cosmos, while Zoe, life, is the spiritual vitality infused into creation. Anthropos and Ecclesia mark the archetype of humanity and the collective spiritual body. Anthropos is the divine human ideal, and Ecclesia is the spiritual community or the perfected soul assembly. Together, these Aeons form the core framework of the divine realm, the pleroma, fullness. The Ogdoad is sometimes considered the blueprint for the spiritual architecture of all things. 3. The Valentinian pleroma, 30 Aeons in 15 syzygies. Among the many Gnostic sects, the Valentinians developed the most detailed and systematic Aeonic cosmology. Their model, attributed to the theologian Valentinus, 2nd century CE, expands the Aeonic order to include 30 Aeons, arranged in 15 syzygies, emanating from the monad. Structure of the Valentinian pleroma. These Aeons are divided into 3 main levels, often arranged in triads or quartets, though they always preserve their syzygy form. A simplified Valentinian order might look like this: Bythos, depth, and Sige, silence. Nous, mind, and Aletheia, truth. Logos, word, and Zoe, life. Anthropos, man, and Ecclesia, church. Paracletus, comforter, and Pistis, faith. Patrikos and Elpis, hope. Agape, love, and Synesis, understanding. Theletus, will, and Sophia, wisdom. And so on until the 30 Aeons are accounted for. The final Aeon, Sophia, stands out in Valentinian tradition as the one whose actions cause disruption, initiating the creation of the material world through a fall from harmony. This complex model shows several key theological concepts. The pleroma is structured and intentional. Each aeon plays a specific role in maintaining cosmic balance. The fall of Sophia introduces chaos, setting the stage for the creation of the material cosmos and humanity's spiritual exile. The Valentinian pleroma portrays creation as a hierarchical emanation, a divine unfolding from unity into multiplicity, eventually leading to fragmentation and the need for spiritual restoration through gnosis. 4. Other esoteric orders: tetrad, luminaries, and autogenes. Beyond the Ogdoad and Valentinian 30, Gnostic texts also speak of alternate structures that reflect other theological and symbolic emphases. Among these are the tetrad, the luminaries, and autogenes. A. The tetrad. The tetrad refers to the first 4 eons in some Gnostic systems, forming the foundational structure from which the rest of the pleroma emanates. Typically, it includes Bythos, depth; Sige, silence; Nous, mind; Aletheia, truth. This set is foundational in several systems, representing the inner divine core. It mirrors the Greek philosophical concept of the first principles, especially in Neoplatonism. The tetrad forms a quaternion, a stable base from which the next layers unfold. In some traditions, the tetrad also mirrors the structure of the soul, implying that divine architecture is reflected in the human inner world. B. The luminaries. In texts like the Apocryphon of John, we encounter the concept of luminaries, which are often seen as heavenly realms or rulers who preside over spiritual zones. These are not eons in the strictest sense, but are closely tied to eonic functions. For instance, principal luminaries include Armazel, associated with grace and the Father's light; Aroyal, linked to perception; Devathai, connected to understanding; Eleleth, linked to wisdom and the revelation of divine knowledge. These luminaries are sometimes associated with helping Sophia and Christ in their redemptive missions. They also serve as guardians of spiritual realms, guiding the soul's return to the pleroma. C. Autogenes, self-begotten. Another important concept is autogenes, meaning self-generated. In Gnostic texts like the Trimorphic Protonoia and Pistis Sophia, autogenes is a divine figure who emanates directly from the higher eons, acts as a mediator between the eons and the material world, participates in the redemption of fallen Sophia and humanity. Autogenes is sometimes seen as Christ in a divine form, acting not as a savior by blood, but by knowledge and illumination. In some systems, autogenes presides over other eons and heavenly orders. This concept ties back to the idea of self-awareness as divinity. To be self-begotten is to realize one's true origin, and that mirrors the Gnostic goal for every soul, to awaken to its own divine nature. 5. Symbolic and spiritual significance of the Aeonic order. The meticulous ordering of eons was not just theological system building. It served profound spiritual functions. Cosmic map. The Aeonic orders reflect the structure of the universe and the path of spiritual ascent. By understanding the order, Gnostics believed they could navigate the invisible world. Mystical path. Each aeon can be seen as a stage of spiritual growth. From mind Nous to truth Aletheia to wisdom Sophia, the soul follows the divine trajectory back to unity. Balance and caution. The structure of syzygies warns against imbalance. Sophia's fall is a cautionary tale about the dangers of acting alone, without divine harmony. Gender complementarity. The male-female pairings reflect the wholeness of divinity, neither masculine nor feminine alone, but a sacred balance of both. In essence, the Aeonic structure is a spiritual blueprint, a cosmic anatomy for the soul to contemplate and ascend. 6. The Divine Symphony of Aeons. The Gnostic ordering of Aeons is a masterful blend of theology, mythology, psychology, and spirituality. From the foundational tetrad and the ogdoad to the expansive Valentinian model of 30 Aeons, each grouping reflects a metaphysical insight about divine reality and the human soul's journey back to its origin. By organizing Aeons in syzygies and cosmic hierarchies, Gnostic sages emphasized the importance of harmony and balance, the spiritual drama of descent and return, the need for gnosis, inner knowledge, as the path to salvation, though often forgotten or dismissed as her. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the hidden realms of Gnostic mythology and the enigmatic Aeons, the forgotten gods who shaped existence and light the path to secret knowledge. If this dive into cosmic mysteries sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more explorations into ancient wisdom and forgotten truths. Share your thoughts below. Do you believe the Aeons still influence our world today? Until next time, keep seeking, questioning, and unveiling the mysteries that lie beyond the veil. Stay enlightened, and remember, the truth might just be waiting in the forgotten realms of the Aeons.